Noble here. Welcome back to another live. Today we're doing a live about my latest FL Studio creation. Now, sadly, I normally do these through OBS and I normally show you the FL Studio screen, but sadly, I've got a broken mic wire at the moment, so I'm not actually able to do that as of yet. So sadly, that's not what we're able to do at the moment. However, I did put a little preview of the track up on to the YouTube channel. It's about 1 minute and 57 seconds, I think, of the sample of the tune of the remix, and it's had a little bit of good response, and I'm actually very happy with what's going to happen with it at the moment. So it's going to be good. So the tune itself, for those of you who haven't seen it or haven't heard it, then go and check that video out and have a listen to the preview. This video is going to be a little bit about the sort of like idea behind the song. It's also going to be like a little bit sort of about elements that I used in the track, which is a good thing in itself, most definitely. So yeah, so the tune itself. So the tune is a remix of Akon, Beautiful, and the story behind it, believe it or not, I only started the song yesterday, and as you can tell, I've had my hair cut. And I know you're probably thinking, what has that got to do with the tune? Well, that has actually got a lot to do with the tune, and it's probably one of the reasons why this song exists. So yesterday, cut the story short, I was going to an event with the Layman, and I went to get my hair cut because I thought, you know what, I need a cut. Need to just freshen myself up a little bit. Hair just goes wild when it gets long. So I go and get my hair cut, and as I'm getting my hair cut, a song comes on the radio in the barbers, and the song happened to be Akon, Beautiful. And I thought to myself, I haven't heard this song in ages, and it gave me a proper sort of like throwback to that sort of 2008, 2009, that late sort of 2000s sort of chart music when, you know, you had like Akon, Shaggy, Sean Kingston, Neo, all them in the charts, just absolutely ripping and killing some absolute fire, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. So, so I heard the song and I thought, I've got to have a little bit of a play around with this, and I've got to do something to this, because I had like a vision of a remix in my head, which is very similar to what I've actually created, which doesn't always happen for me with production. Sometimes I'll have an idea and then I can't always get the idea down on FL Studio like it is in my brain. So this one just went really well. So I came back home and started searching for the stems, and lo and behold, I found a vocal. Vocal wasn't the best quality vocal. It wasn't that clean. It was a little bit shocking, to be honest. But you know, I was just in a little bit of a hyped mood at the time. I didn't really care. I just started putting something down, got the vocal in time, got a really nice fat sounding bass on it, and I knew with this tune I wanted to do more of a almost like a classic sort of Clubland stroke a Scouse House sort of remix. So it's got that sort of it's almost got like a slowed down sort of like squaddy hardcore bass to it, which I'll play for you just right now. So if I just go here, so it's got that sort of bass sound. I don't know how clear you can hear it. Do you know what I mean? So it actually like... So, and then it actually sounds like this all together. So that's the bass on its own. So I wanted to go not necessarily with a donk as such, because I just thought, you know what, I've got to do that sort of, I've got to sort of clubland it up. And sometimes, especially back then, some of these chart tunes, they did get like clubland remixes. I know sort of like Hypersonic sometimes did a few, and which was Squaddy himself, and I know Alex K did quite a lot of donk, but there was a lot of good scouse sort of going around at that time. So I thought, let's do that for a change. So I started playing around and I got a little something together, and then I run into a little bit of a snag, and I got a melody, so I got like a MIDI, I actually the MIDI that I got wasn't a good MIDI. So the MIDI I got was actually someone playing the vocal chords on a piano, and then they just converted into a little MIDI file. So it didn't actually have the main melody that you hear in the Akon's Beautiful. So I thought, what am I going? I'm going to try and recreate the melody, because it is a really nice sounding melody. And luckily, I found a video where someone plays that melody on a piano. It's on that piano program. So I was sort of like playing and pausing between the video to create that famous sort of melody that you hear within the what you hear within the that famous melody, sorry, that you hear within the tune, that sounds like this. So I knew that I had to sort of like do that. And then for sort of like the breakdowns, I used quite a few different sounds in my breakdowns. And one of them I used sounds like this. So it's got a real nice sort of bass sound to it. And then I used this sound as well, which I layered sort of, you know, on top of it. Which is just a little bit lighter in itself. And then here I added this sound. Which has a real nice sort of trance sort of sound to it. And then all together, it sounds like this. And it just, in all fairness, it just makes a really fat breakdown that just sounds absolutely fantastic, which is really good. So obviously I got this far, and then I left it because I was away at an event, blah blah blah. So I didn't continue with it till today. And then obviously I'd got in late from the event, and I'd had a bit of a lie-in this morning, and then I was laid there sort of in bed, and I thought, I was playing with an Akon tune yesterday, and I remember like thinking like this was sounding really good. So I obviously loaded the project back up and continued having a little look through it, and obviously fresh day, fresh ears, fresh eyes, and the vocal was just terrible. I was like, I need to find a better vocal. I need to get a better vocal, or this remix is not happening. And it will be such a shame, because there's so many good elements to the tune already, that if I just can't get a cleaner vocal, then just that I'm out of luck. So I had a little browse online, and website Acapellas for You had what they so-called classed as an acapella on their website. I've got an account with them. I've signed in obviously before. I've had acapellas from them before, so I downloaded it, and the acapella again was not good. It wasn't brilliant. It was like somebody had it's like Akon himself had sang the a cappella, but it's like he'd sang it to the music and they'd like turn the volume of just the instrumental down like really low. But you could still hear it. So like when he was sort of like singing, it's like you could still hear, because in the original there's kind of like a little bit of a like a little bit of a, it's almost like a break beat, but it's not, it's just like a weird kick. um that is kind of city. I think it is like a really slowed down breakbeat, and you could hear it. And I downloaded it because I thought it's quite quiet. I might be able to use it. So I put the vocal into FL, timed it up to the right speed, and put it in time and in place, and had a little play. And it was unusable because of this little kick situation, this little break beat. You know, you could slightly hear sounds in the background, and it was just interfering with the track itself. So I come up with an idea that if I put this vocal through a vocal remover, it would maybe just get rid of these sounds and give me a nice clean vocal, because the vocal itself was like 90% clean. It was just these little sounds in the background that needed to disappear, and this was the only way I could think of getting them to disappear. So put it through the vocalremover.org, and instantly I was greeted with a nice clean vocal that sounds like this. When I see you, I run out of words to say. I wouldn't leave you, cause you're that type of girl to make me stay. I see the guys trying to holler, girl, I don't wanna bother you, cause you're independent and you got my attention. So that sounded good. So then obviously I started playing, putting it back in and playing around. The next snag I came to, I suppose, with the tune is the second verse in the song. It's a little bit messy, and I don't mean by like as such just like a bad like vocal or anything like that, but kind of like the way the tune is and the way the tune's sung. It's kind of like part of the chorus, so like part of the second verse. So after the first chorus, there's like a little vocal loop up that goes, "You're so beautiful, 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 you're so beautiful." And then when that finishes, the second verse comes in. But that little loop section just overlaps like the second verse just like ever so slightly. So when you cut and you sort of get the second verse in time, you get like you almost get like the last little bit of him saying beautiful from that loop section. So you've got this like, you've almost got like tiffle, you've got like tiffle in, so beautiful tiffle, that just slightly comes in, and then there's like some like little background backing vocals, and the whole vocal just goes a bit like wild and messed up. And so what I decided to do was just repeat the first verse again, and just have the first verse and have the chorus, and just have a "you're so beautiful" like vocal looping hook, and I think it benefits it most definitely, and makes the tune sound a hell of a lot better, and not so messy. And it just really takes on a nice little remix of it, and it still captures what the tune is about. It's not really ruining the original, I don't think, as such. And it just gives it a good vibe. So I decided to do that. So obviously that "when I see you, I run out of words to say." So that gets repeated. And then there's just like obviously the chorus and stuff, which again gets repeated. That comes in like very nicely, and then the second breakdown goes back into all them sounds again, where I've added a crowd, and then I've added my own sort of like little break beat, chopping up the kick that I used in the track, that actually sounds like this. So I'll show you. So it actually sounds like. So it just essentially sounds like that. and then all together it's. So that just comes on like really powerful. The main drops, they don't go into anything wild. They just essentially sound like this. One thing I do really like actually, I like doing this on tunes. I like to bring in what I call a delayed snare. So I bring a snare in, but I bring it delayed, so it comes in almost like 4 bars after the intentional drop. So it'll sound like this. I'll tell you when it comes in. Coming in now. But you might not hear it that well on the phone, to be fair. But it does. It comes in just about 4 bars. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, about 4 bars after the initial drop. Little snare comes in, and it just sounds good. It just brings something, because you think it drops, and then you think, well, that's it. It's dropped. What else can come? And then you've just got that real nice little snare that comes in about 4 bars after, and then you think now it's complete. So that's obviously really good. And then that is really about it. It's just one of them like simple tunes, but it's like good and effective. And then what I've done is I've made a radio edit. So I've made a radio edit of the tune itself. Just a little something, because not everybody does just exactly want to mix it, and some people do. They might want to just listen to it. And sometimes again, like myself, I like listening back to my own tunes as well, to see like if there's anything I can add. Even sometimes after I've I've said I've finished a tune, and maybe I've like released a tune for free download, or it's gone up on Layman Productions. I still listen, and sometimes like when I'm walking to work or something, it's a great remedy for listening. And sometimes you just have a good listen, and you might hear something that you didn't hear before that sounds off, or you might think, what, I should add something here. But sometimes you don't always want to listen to that almost like 32 bars of just like kick, and then 16 bars of kicks, and then kicks and bass for another 16 bars. So sometimes it's nice just to have a little bit of like a radio edit. So what I did for that is I started on the main melody on its own with a little kick effect and a crash. So then all the sounds come back in. And then it jumps straight into that first verse. So it's almost just like a little, almost like a little teaser, sort of like intro to the radio edit, and then it comes and you're straight into the track without all that 16 bars of just kick and bass, and then and then 16, and obviously 16 bars of like kicks on its own. And then at the end, obviously, normally after the last 16 bars where there's like a vocal and a melody, normally it would then go to the outro where you'd go back to just kick and bass. But obviously, because it's a radio edit, obviously I wasn't going to do that. So what I've done, so it comes to the end, and then what actually happens is, and then it drops back to this. And then I'll just do that, and then it just fades out. So it's really nice. It's really nice. It really is. It makes for an amazing tune. Also with the main melody, I forgot to say as well, I added this in as well, which just goes behind the main melody, and it almost like gives the melody a little bit of its own bass. So it actually sounds, if I just show you on its own. So yeah, it's almost like it's just giving the melody a little bit of a bass on its own. You know, which just sounds quite good. Makes the melody, because I liked it before when it was on its own, but then when it's but then when it has its own little bass, it just sounds a bit more fuller. It sounded a little bit flat. As for the actual sound of the melody itself, I think it's very close. It's not far off. I don't think the original sound, which is quite mad. It's almost got a very similar sound to Alice DJ, Better Off Alone, which is actually only a few notes down. Which is just there. No. Oh, I can't get it. For some reason, when I clicked my keys on my keyboard, it used to play the notes, but for some reason it don't now. I think I've maybe changed something in my settings. I'm not entirely sure, but essentially. But that would be Better Off Alone, but it's got a very similar sound to it, obviously. So, you know, I was quite sort of like, I remember hearing it like, do you know what I mean? It's like, because Alice DJ is going up, like, and then that's going down. So you've got like, so you've got B, B, so you've got B, B, A sharp, for Alice DJ, but then you've got E sharp, C. So, so with the Alice DJ, you're starting on a white note, but then on the Akon, you're starting on the black note. You're starting on the sharp. So you're sort of like going up from the white to the sharp on the Better Off Alone, and then down from the sharp to the white on the Akon. But obviously just different notes, different keys, obviously. But yeah, so I'm really happy with the song. It's just something, like I say, I had the idea in my head, and I think I've just done like really well with it. So yeah, make sure to check the preview out, have a listen to it, let me know what you think, and I've got some other stuff in the pipeline, and keep your eye out for this, because I now know what's happening with this tune. Not going to say too much yet, but if you look at the thumbnail to the video, to this stream, it will give you a little bit of a clue. And the only clue I'm going to give you is there is a possible someone jumping on a remix, and you'll have to check the thumbnail to see that. And it should be quite good. It'll be quite cool. And I might see if anybody else wants to jump on and do a little version as well. So we'll see. But yeah, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to share. Peace out.